You have tuned in to The Thinking Class with Lawrence D. Adams. Let's go. Salute everybody. This is Lawrence D. Adams. I'm getting my banner up because everybody know what it is. It's the Thinking and Doing class. And I am live here on this great day in January. If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know in the chat room. Good shout out to you, Wade. Good to see everybody that's here. Good to see everyone. Good to see everyone. Let's go. We're going to talk about from victim to victor, taking back control of your life. And also, too, I want to emphasize this with the comments after this video. I want to make sure, what is your biggest challenge coming in 2025? I want to see how I can serve you, because my goal is, yes, we bring a spirituality and a thinking class come together. You have, I got it all wrong. When game and spirituality come together, you have the thinking class. But also, too, what's going on, Unique? I want to make sure I get this to you guys. I'm here to bring transformation to your life. Let's get the likes up, as Unique said. My goal is for you to be transformed in your life. My goal is to see you from zero to hero. Let me say that. My goal from me is to get you from zero to hero. So that's my goal, whatever area that may be in. Shout out to you, to the guys inside the chat room. So let's get going. From victim to victor. Let me get it very quickly. I'm going to definitely get going with this. But let me start out with a story. It's about a little boy back in, you think he was, if I remember correctly, he was in elementary school. He was in elementary school, and during that time, thank you. He's listening, thank you guys. He was in elementary school, and he went through the kindergarten, he went through first grade, and he ended up flunking second grade. And while he went to one school, their family moved and went to another school. And he had flunked second grade, so he had to repeat second grade. But while he was in second grade, they used to have reading classes or reading circles. And in those reading circles, there was those who can read well, those who need help reading, and those who couldn't read well at all. Because he didn't do well in comprehension, he had to be taken out of the class with a lady whose name happened to be, I can't remember their name, but she was there to help him learn his spelling and help him learn how to read and comprehend what he was reading. And it was every Friday he had to go out to this special class, and he got teased in elementary school in second grade. Wow, you must be slow. You must don't know how to do anything. You can't read. You need special help. And so he would go home almost feeling defeated. The other part of it is he got to the third grade, ended up graduating, he got to the third grade, and what happened was he tried to trick his father. And what he did was they had a spelling list that you had every week. And he scratched out how to spell frozen out of there. And he spelled it the way he wanted to be spelled. So his mother said, could you go over and help your son with his spelling? So they went over the spelling words, went over the spelling words, went over the spelling words, and all of a sudden, they said, the father said, hey, this is not spelled right. And they say, no, 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 no. That's how you spell it. So finally he got in trouble because he had erased the word frozen in the spelling book. So he ended up graduating out of the third grade, going to the fourth, barely made it out of the fourth grade, went to fifth grade, got teased again in the sixth grade because of his learning, his ability to comprehend, and his spelling. And when he was getting ready to go to junior high school, his mother didn't want him to go to that particular high school because it was rough and, you know, it was a bigger class of people and all that kind of stuff. But one thing his father did was pull him to the side and didn't allow him to play the victim. The person that I'm talking about is actually me. That story that I just told was about me and my struggles through elementary school, through junior high school, and even a little bit in high school. By the time I got to high school, I realized, you know what? I am not about to be teased and I'm not about to be put down, anything like that. I made up my mind that I was going to be on the merit roll and on the honor roll. And the reason why I tell this story about myself and I'm sharing it to you, because I could have easily played the victim and say, well, since I flunked in the second grade, guess what? I might as well just not be well in school. Or the reason why I had to go to special class for people who need reading comprehension, I'm just going to flunk out of school. So I want to tell you this. The reason why I'm telling you that story is I had to face the fact that my family would not allow me to play the victim because of what happened in my educational endeavors. I could have easily gave up in the third grade or in the second grade when I flunked. I could have easily gave up even in junior high school when I got teased, but I refuse to play the victim. And for you to go from victim to victor, you cannot allow yourself to play the victim. Now, I'm gonna be very clear. It would have been easy to play the victim. Nobody knows. I could have got everybody to feel sorry for me. But where would I be now if I would have played the victim when I was a kid? Or where would I be now if I allowed my family and my family felt sorry for me? Oh, little Lawrence, he can't figure things out. He can't spell. He can't write. He can't do anything. No, what they did was they did not entertain that. They said, you got to get up and do this. There was no option that I was going to stay home and cry about it. You're going to get up and go to school. So I could have easily played the victim. Even in high school, when I was challenged from going from merit roll to honor roll, I could have gave up then. But my parents, my family would not allow me, Lawrence D. Adams, to play the victim. Some of you have been allowed to play the victim and you're wondering why life is treating you the way is treating you. But what happened to me was it built character in me to not give up. Did I have challenges after that? Yes, I had challenges after that, after high school, after junior high school, being robbed at gunpoint 2 times. But I refused to play the victim and I decided to play the victor. Let me say that again. I had the gun pulled out on me on the corner, if y'all at the corner of my grandmother's street, and they took my fur coat. I don't know why I was out in the street with a fur coat, with a fur collar and a leather coat, and they robbed me with all my credit cards. I could have easily played the victim there. And then when I got robbed later on in life, and they pulled me between two houses, they said, "Give me everything." Do you hear what I'm saying to you? They said, "Give me everything." I had my computer, I had my book I wrote then, I had everything in my little satchel or in my book bag. It was like my life was gone for me. One thing I said when they pulled that gun out on me was, I am not about to cry, and I am not about to use the bathroom on myself. I'm trying to keep it clean, but I'm not going to do that, because I was not going to play the victim. I am not doing that. I'm just not doing that. If I say this is my time to go, it is what it is. One thing they're going to see, I didn't cry, and I didn't use the bathroom on myself. The reason why I'm sharing this with you, because those who win in life have to determine, will they allow their outside determine, will they allow what happens to them on the outside to determine their fate, or will they allow what took place on the inside of them to determine their fate? I had to make sure that I said I was not going to give up. I was not going to play the victim. And have I experienced, thank you, Wade, have I experienced racism? Yes, I experienced it in college. But I was determined that I was not going to settle and allow what was said to me to stop me from moving forward in college. Now, did I graduate? No, I didn't graduate. But I made it from flunking second grade all the way to college. So I could have played the victim there. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I want you to realize, if I, LDA, who can got game out of this world, can show you with my own story of my life, how I had the many times of playing the victim in my life, but I determined on the inside of me that I was going to be the victor. When I was in Atlanta, I can think of it many times. I was in Atlanta and I got kicked out of my house. I mean, I lost my job at General Motors. It closed up. All my things were in my little Nissan. Can't think of what car. I had a white Nissan stick shift. I had all my clothes. I had cleaning utensils. I had cleaning stuff, cooking stuff was all of my in my car. But I made sure I went over my cousin's house. My cousin lived, I think he lived in Bankhead. I went over his house, went over there. I didn't say, "Hey man, cuz, can you help me out?" I went over there, laughed with him, joked. I left. I did not play the victim with him. It's easy to play the victim, but guess what? If you continue to play the victim, life will continue to tear you down. I decided that I was not going to play the victim. I was going to play the victor. And what I had to do, that's where I can get you from zero to hero, is because I had to make up in my mind that this was not it for me. I have something that I need to do. There's a message I need to get out to people. There's lives I need to touch with what I have and what I went through. I could have easily played the victim. Even when I was married, I could have played the victim. Oh my God, I don't have nowhere to stay. Now she got the clothes. She called the police on me. I could have easily played the victim. I could have cried wolf. But I chose, which was a hard choice to make, is not to play the what? Victim. What's going on, Yahoo? Good to see you. Hey, continue to praying for all y'all. Peace. Thank you. I determined that I was not going to play the victim, even in the midst of a divorce, second divorce. I could have said, I'm giving up on women. They for the streets. I ain't dealing with them. Blah, 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 blah. I could have went on that whole tangent. These women are bad. I could have went on there and played the victim because of what happened to me in Atlanta. But I brushed myself off and say, what do I need to do to learn to be a better man, to choose a better woman? Did I get it right all the time? No, I did not. But I got up to fight another day. Most people don't get up to fight another day because they're blaming the white man, they're blaming the black man, they're blaming the government, they're blaming it because it's Trump, they're blaming because it's Obama, they're blaming because it's Biden, they're blaming because this one did that. You never take the inventory to look at that they have to be accountable for their own life. I could have easily played the victim down in Atlanta when I lost my job at General Motors. I could have easily played a victim. I could have been like, no, man, this ain't right. I don't know what I'm going to do. I could have been crying. And many times I felt like giving up. But the transformation that took place, me being in those hard places, actually built the character that you see today. It built the steel in my back that I can't give up. It actually enabled me to even talk from the point that even though I was in those hard places, now I'm able to give it back and see somebody else go even further. So now I have a blueprint that if you go through something, you don't have to give up. You do not have to play the victim. Many times on these YouTube streets and on these dating streets, on these places where men meet, they want to have a victim Olympics huddle. They want to cry about what the women in United States are doing, or what particularly black women are doing, or what this group is doing, or what that group is doing to women. But they always, at the end of the day, you can play the victim, but what are you going to do about it? I could give you a full dissertation thesis on dating women, or in particularly black women. I can give you, say, from 1888 all the way to 2025. I understand that, but I will not play the victim around nobody. I will not play the victim and give up and tuck my tail under my butt and say, I'm giving up. I will not allow, as I said earlier this week, I will not allow one monkey to stop my show. I will not allow what I've seen on social media say about women or even about men to stop my relationship with people. Many times, a lot of guys come on here on these social media streets to cry wolf about what happened to them. They did this to me. This woman did this to me. This man did. They want to always play the victim, and then they get a victim huddle and they start crying and they get tissues and everybody's leaning and crying on each other. Guess what? Where does it lead you after that? At the end of the day, they don't care that you are the victim of what happened in your relationship. They don't care of what took place where you lost your marriage or you lost your house or child support went to cut you. I can even talk on child. I can play the victim about child support because I had to pay it. I'm not going to do that. Either you're going to play the victim, and I'm going to say this really like it is, and get violated, or you're going to play the victor and figure out what you're going to do so you don't be in that position again. I've said this to my sons, and I think I said it to someone else. Life is not fair. Get over it and get over yourself. Most people are comfortable playing the victim because they get the attention that they always wanted. That right there is a bar right there. Most people are comfortable playing the victim because they get the attention that they always wanted, but they're never satisfied because they're not fulfilling their God-given purpose. Most people are comfortable playing the victim because it gives them the attention that they always wanted. And guess what? It never satisfies their soul. You choose to write your legacy one page at a time, correct? So I could have easily got on these streets and talk about how bad women are in the United States, how they are over there. I can get on that. I know. I can say how these men ain't nothing. I can talk that talk. But what does it profit me when I realize I'm giving my power away to something that I can control? What does it profit a man, and women are listening, to give away your power as a victim to something you can control and something you cannot control? Many people who play the victim are giving their power away because it's easier for them to be cuddled and to feel a sense of love because they don't love themselves enough to get back in the fight. I had some hard times. I had some challenges. I had some times when I had to pull it myself to side, like, yo, get yourself together, bro. I had to cry, like, dog, I can't believe this. But I could have easily played the victim. I couldn't allow what was going on the outside to determine what I decided on the inside. I couldn't allow what was going on the outside of me to determine what was going on in the inside of me. I had to play the victor. Even when I lost everything, when I was out there on the street counting change to go to the Dollar General store to get something for $1, to get some I got granola bar, and I got I think I got a granola bar, and I can't think what else I get, but it added up, it was 50 cents a piece. That was what I ate. And then I took the bus downtown to the library to go apply for jobs. So I spent so much time applying for jobs on the computer. Then I spent so much time studying marketing, studying leadership. I could have cried. I watched other men in there trying to make it, but I refused to allow myself to go under. Was I close? Baby, I was real close. What I mean real close? I was real close and said, I forget all of this. I'm just going to give up. But I determined that I wasn't going to allow my outside to determine my inside. I said, I will not play the victim. I remember, and the reason why I'm saying this because it ain't going to make sense. So me telling you going from zero to hero and the transformation that took place. I'm talking about this grand thing. If I don't say from my own life how I went from zero to hero. So I remember I came back from New York. I once again at the bottom of the pit again. Came back from New York. I can barely talk. Almost wanted to give up my life. And my sister and my mother came and got me. And I was in my sister's basement on a cot. I can barely talk. My suits were hanging up on the pipes, on the water pipes for the house. And my sons came to visit me. And I remember I was depressed and I wanted to give up. My sons came, hey, Dad, how you doing? And so what I did was I grabbed my ties that I had, because I had a couple of ties that I had that were pre-tied, that I tied, and I put it on my sons. I said, sons, Dad will not be here always. I will have a car. I will go and take you to the park and to wherever you want to go. Your father will not always be here. I had no way in having to figure out how I was going to get out of the position of not having a job. First, getting my voice back, getting some kind of wherewithal. But I remember looking at my two sons' life, two sons in that basement, in the cot that I slept on. I said, I had an iPad, the original iPad. I said, I told my sons, your father would not be in this position for long. He would not. He was going to get a car. He's going to pick you up. We're going to go get ice cream. We're going to do something. Do you believe me? They said, yeah, we believe you, Dad. And I remember I took my time and I prayed with my sons. And they prayed for me. So I could have easily played the victim. You say, oh, I'm just going to give up. Ain't nothing going to work out for me. I could have easily cried and say, oh my God, I'm in my sister's basement. But I took that time to thank God for my sister and my mother and my family who took care of me during that time. Because they could have left me on the street. But I couldn't, at that moment, I couldn't play the victim. Was I thinking about it? I'm gonna be very honest with you. I was thinking about it. But I just said, I have to get up from here. My sons are looking at me. Let me say that again. My sons are looking at me, and they need to see a winner and not a loser. They need to see their father get up from where he is and show them the way. I had no clue how I was going to show them the way. But in my mind, I already had the car. I already had the place. I already have the provision to take care of them. Let me say this too. It did not happen overnight. I end up getting a place, I'm losing that place. I end up getting another place, and I lose that. I end up getting a place around the corner from my sister. End up the job I worked at, it ended up closing up. I was like, I'm back in the same position again. And then working for a guy, work for him. Then I ended up staying in one of his houses. Then that drew up. I was like, what is going on with my life? Easily could have played the victim. But I said I was not going to give up. My sons, my family is watching me. I could have easily took some pills. I could have easily got a knife. Could have easily got a gun and ended it all. It wouldn't be no LDA today. But I said I'm going to get my asset up and not give up. Many times I contemplated in the basements and places I stayed at, how do I get out of this? What do I need to do? How do I journey past this point? So when you see me now and I'm flexing a little bit with my hats and the way I dress, baby, you don't know my story. You don't know where I've been through. You don't know, you wasn't there when I only had $1 to my name. When I bought a car and I ended up crashing the car. You wasn't there when I had good credit and ended up buying a car, getting a car fresh off the lot. You wasn't there. So, and I'm not telling this story for people to feel, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for the people to feel sorry for me. I'm telling you from my transformation from victim to victor, I had to take back control of my life. If this is resonating with you, put a number 1 in the chat room. If this is resonating with you, put a number 1 in the chat room. If you're getting what I'm picking up, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let me know in the chat room. Put a number 1 in the chat room. Put a number 1 in the chat room. Because most people talk game and they talk about all this stuff online. I can do this, and they never tell you what they went through to get to where they're at. They never talk about, hey, you know what? It wasn't always easy. You would appreciate their message more if they took back the covers and showed the gunshot wounds, or the time, like I said, the time when the guns were pulled out on me. When the gun was at my head and the guy could have went click, click, and I would have been out of here. The times where I got cussed out, the times I wanted to just say, that's it. But I could not play the victim. In order for me to get through those hurdles that I was getting through, I had to have a certain mindset. Now, this is the thing that's so important. This is the transformation part of it that I want you to get. This is the part I want you to really get from what I'm saying to you. What I did from going from victim to victor was I had to have a made up mind. What does that mean? I had to determine that I was not going to be moved by what was going on the outside of me, the lack of money, the lack of, or anything like that. I had to have a made up mind that I was not going to give up. I had to practice everything I read in my library. I have a library over here. I would go over and show it, but I have a library of books of all kind of disciplines. I read those books, but it didn't mean nothing until I had to apply those books in my darkest times. Let me say that again. I had all the books, all the information in the world, but the transformation didn't happen until I took my blockhead and it said, I got to apply what I read in these books, because reading it wasn't going to do it. Wasn't going to do anything. It was me doing it that was going to make the change. Some of y'all are information heavy and transformation lacking. Let me say it again. Some of y'all got all the information in the world, but your transformation has took place because you refuse to put in the work. You refuse to be accountable that you cannot play the victim anymore. You refuse to say, you know what? Okay, yeah, there have been some women out here that did that. I will not play the victim. Let me say this. Let me say this for those who think I don't have no game. Let me break this down to you. Don't you think, men, that women can smell when you are being the victim when you're dealing with them? The world can smell it. They want a man who's going to be confident in who he is and stand 10 toes down. The reason why I'm saying this, because the transformation took place in my life when I determined that I was not going to go under, that I had more to accomplish, that I'm not going to go out like that. Even when they had me between two houses and the gun was pulled out, the two guys, I was walking down the street. I was walking a certain speed and I walked pretty fast. They would start walking fast. I said, oh, shoot, this is not good. They said, oh, buddy, come over here. And they pulled me between the two houses. They said, oh, man, give me everything, and put the gun to my head. I said, dog. In a split second, I said, I am not going out like this. I got too much to do. I got people to touch. I got people to serve. I can't go out like this. My sons need me. My family need me. People around the world need me. I ain't going out like this. I believe that mindset was the thing that saved me at that moment. Because it could have easily be a moment of me just giving up. Laid on the ground crying. But I determined that I was not going to give up. Transformation happens not on the outside of you. Transformation happens on the inside of you when you make a decision that you will not give up, that you will, second of all, when you will not be moved by what you see on the outside of you. You will not be moved by what you see on the outside of you. Victims victims are normally enamored and hypnotized by what they see on the outside of them. Victors like, oh, you know what? Oh, I see that's going on, but it's happening, but it ain't affecting me on the inside of me because I know who I am. I know I'm connected to the Most High. That's what victors do. Actually, I heard this yesterday. The 1% who are living their lives are not moved by what they see on the inside. They're moved by what's going on the inside of them, on the outside. So they're not moved by what they see on the outside of them. They're moved by how they feel on the inside or what they know on the inside. And they have a clear grip on their emotions. They know, oh, okay, this is what's going on. I got it. I'm not going to be emotionally drawn into this. That's what the 1% does. That's why the game is so important. Many people come into wanting to learn the game because they want to be what? They want to still play you can't play the victim and have the game at the same time. Let me say that again. You cannot play the victim and then say you want the game. You want to know about women. You stink. Only those who are confident in who they are. Only those who stand 10 toes down are the ones who win at the game of life. Because life is not fair. Suck it up, cupcake. There's a book that I have to read. It's called The Cuddling of America. How America in the educational system, family systems, churches, let me emphasize that again, churches, education system, society have made American, especially American men, weak. You don't want to go through nothing. You want the easy button for everything. And what has happened is it has made the men weak and made them unattractive to women, and has made the women strong in the wrong way and made them unattractive to men. The cuddling of America is to get you to fall asleep and to forget who you are. It's to get you to play the victim so that you to say, woe is me. It's the black man stopping me. It's the white man. It's the green man. Is everybody stop? Ain't nobody stopping you but you. They're there. Let me say this for my black historians that don't know, that need to learn their history. In the 1800s, there were black people who were free and living well. Everybody wasn't in slavery. So I just want to make sure that's clear. There, even in the 1800s, 1900s, there were families that were prominent, who were doing things, who refused to play the victim. So I just want to make sure that's very clear. Study your history. But those who win in life decide that they will not play the victim. I remember in junior high school, I ran track for Mr. Coates. He was a math teacher from the South. We used to tease him because the way he used to talk. And he was way older than us because he was, our track coach. He was a teacher, been teaching there for years in the 80s. And when we ran track, when we do practice, when we used to practice, we had to go so many times around the junior high school. We got to run around. And around the second time, I think it was about 5 times. He was like, keep going, boys, keep going. You got to keep going. He's like, oh my God, Mr. Coates. No. He'll blow his whistle, keep going. So we get to the last lap. He said, don't allow the bear to get on your back. We said, what bear is here? And what he meant was, don't allow yourself to get tired on running the last lap that it slows you down. Many of you have a mental bear on your back that's slowing you down. Mr. Coach used to blow that whistle and say, keep running. He got so upset one time while we were on the last lap. He said, you're going to allow this old man to beat you running? And he got out there and beat us going around doing laps. He wanted to show us that there's more in you than what you think. Let me say that again. He wanted to show us as junior high schoolers that there was more in us that we can do, but we needed to push ourselves, push it to the limit. And man, I said to myself and other people that were running, we're gonna allow old man Coach to beat us running. I said, I ain't gonna happen. And I pushed. And what it did was made me a better runner and had me to work. And he worked on my form and running. So it's crazy when you really think about it. So even when I did run, he seen that it was more in us, but he also had a keen eye to see what race we needed to run. Some of y'all are in the wrong place and not in your purpose. That is the reason why you keep playing the victim. Let that sink in. Some of you are in the wrong place. That's the reason why you keep playing the victim, because you're not in your purpose. Mr. Coates had a keen eye to look at a student and determine what race that individual need to run. He looked at me. He realized I was not a sprinter. He tried to put me on hurdles, but I couldn't get my timing right, so I tripped over the hurdles. He said, Adams, I'm going to put you on the mile relay. I said, oh my God, I want to do it right. I don't want to be first, and I didn't want to be last. So he put me on, I was on third leg. So we had to work on doing stick. 1, 2, 3, stick. Because you would get disqualified if you didn't pass the stick correctly, you drop it. But he had a keen eye to see Adams need to be on the third leg of the mile relay. He has it in him. He could have put someone else there. He could have put a sprinter there, but a sprinter wouldn't have last around the laps. I think it's 2 times around or 2 times and a half around with the mile relay. He wouldn't have last. So he put me on the mile relay on the third leg. And in my mind, I had timing on when I go around, take it slow. But when I get around to that second time around, I'm kicking butt. I put on the jets, and I wasn't going to allow the bear to get on my back. It's the same with life. Some of you guys are in the wrong race, and that is the reason why you keep playing yourself as the victim, because you're not in your purpose. Some of y'all are in the wrong race in life, doing everything you're not supposed to be doing, and you're not in the right race in your life. That is the reason why the game of life is not working for you. And I had to realize Mr. Coates was wiser. He had more experience to recognize in the student what race that student need to be in. You got to realize that the Most High God has more insight, or people, mentors, people around you that are wiser than you have more insight on where you need to be in your life so that you go from victimhood to victor. Some of you are in the wrong race. That is the reason why you're not winning at life. You're running a race that your mother and father said you should have run, and you was never designed to be what they said they were. You should be. Some of you are running a race of where you think the money should have been at, and you're wondering why the money's not showing up, because you're in the wrong race in your life. You think, well, if I get this degree, it's going to make money, and you get into that degree, and the economy changes, and the industry changes. Now you're in the wrong race. You have to find the right race that you need to run for your purpose in life. Mr. Coates was so strategic in learning his students and where to place them for the track meets. So, and even then, let me go a little bit further. What's going on, Nikki B? Even further, we had other coaches with Mr. Coates who would teach us how to stretch, on what to look for, how to prepare for a particular race. Sometimes the reason why you're not going from zero to hero or from your transformation because you don't have the right people to help you to win the race that you were designed for. Let me say that again. Sometimes you don't have the right people around you that will help you win the right race that you are called for. You got people who are discouraged. Oh man, you can't run that race. You ain't gonna never win. You look at you. You allowed the bear to get on your back. You dropped the stick last time. You got to make sure that you have the right trainers around you, or the right mentors, or the right people who can push you to the limit to make sure that you win the race that you were designed to be around. Correct. Thank you, Shalonda. Right. Your circle matters. That's something that me and Nikki B had talked about. And when I was at Marcus Spellacy, I realized I had to get around the right circle of people in order to win the race. There was a guy that lived up the street from me. Two people, shout out to them, George Brown and Craig Beaumier. Craig was oh my God. He was an expert. Him and George Brown were experts at running. And what I did was when I got to high school, I started running with them. So anybody who lives in Cleveland, we would run from Collinwood up Ivanhoe, down Euclid to Euclid Mall, and then back. I said, this is wow. What did I sign up for? Let me say that what we did. We ran from Collinwood up Ivanhoe, down Euclid, all the way down Euclid, down 260th to Euclid Mall, take a little break. By that time, the coaches are down there looking at us. Run there, go to what's the name of that place? Orange Julius, get some out of there, and then run back down to Collinwood High School. That was our conditioning. Some of y'all don't realize that the trials and the tribulations that you went through were only your conditioning to prepare you for the race that you were designed to be in. Some of y'all don't realize, from you to go from victim to victor, that the things that you went through were only designed, they were your conditioning. In order for us to win the races that we were going to run, we had to be conditioned. Some of y'all don't want to go through the conditioning. You just want to give me the keys now. No, life doesn't work like that. You have to be conditioned. And sometimes the things that you have gone through, the disappointments, the no's, even the yeses, the failed relationships, the failed cars, the things that happen, the jobs and everything, were all conditioning you for the race that you were that you were designed to win. But you got to have the right people. Thank you. I appreciate I'm in the pocket. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. But you got to be around the right people. You got to have the right trainers. Who pushed me when we were at Collinwood and I had to run up Ivanhoe, up Belvoir, and back around, was George and Craig saying, you can't give up. I was like, I'm tired. I'm running, trying to keep up with them because they're horses already. They're running. I said, I want to give up. I want to give up. They said, you can't get cars riding past us. Come on, man, you got to go. Come on, let's go. We got to get this. We running up Belvoir, up a hill. And I want to give up. I mean, trust me, I'm like, I can cut through the woods and go home. Where I lived at, I could have cut through the woods and just got my stuff the next day from the locker. But I had to, they pushed me. They said, no, you can't give up. This is part of your conditioning. And when it was through that conditioning that they prepped me for my track meets. In junior high school, I also did long jumping. And the reason why I'm telling you all this, because I had to go from victim to victor, but it had to happen in my mind. And so I did long jumping. I studied it. And what I did was this. I would train and jump at home. I went through mentally, I would see myself jumping and making the see my mark in the sand. And I had to learn how to fall correctly, not fall back or fall forward. So I would long jump at home. I would just keep practice jumping, run, and then jump. I got so well at long jumping, and this is the honest to God truth, in junior high school, that I placed in my division for the Cleveland Public Schools, and I was in the Sun newspaper for long jumping. So I don't know why these stories are coming up. But what I did was I studied the guys who beat me in long jumping at Patrick Henry. I would watch them as they long jump. I watched their forms, how they would almost propel themselves forward. Why? Yep. I said, oh, that's how they do it. And I would sit there and wait. Lawrence Adams, your time to jump. So you get 2 jumps. So I did the first jump, and then whatever the highest jump, that's the one that count. And I remember I did it. I was slimmer than what I am now, and I'm slim now. I was slimmer then, and I did it up, and then I fall, and make sure you fall forward with your hands forward. And I place. So Adams, you gotta jump again, because I got to beat the person who won before from the other schools. So we have a jump off. Oh, that one's all right, but pause, cancel, no Diddy, whatever. So we would go and do the long jumping. And I had to say, what I would do is I pull myself to the side. I'm like, yo, you can beat this guy. I'll go over the form in my mind. Okay, when I jump, I need to not look at nobody. I need to so focus. I think I had a Jerry curl then too. So y'all don't laugh at me. I had a little Jerry curl at the top of my head too. So I was like, I thought I was all that. I was ready for the world back then. I had a Jerry curl. I thought I was fly in junior high school. Little S curl, little curl coming down right here. I thought I was, was the, what, you couldn't tell me anything. But what I did was, I said, okay, I got to get my Jerry curl together. I did all like this. I don't got a curl. Now I got a bald head. I did like that. I said, all right, focus. And what I did was, I said, I've already beat this guy in the long jump. I'm going for, I think, 18 feet. I think 19 was doing good. So what I did was, I got myself together. Back then we had the shorts that were sort of high. That's how old I am. The shorts were sort of high, and if you're not careful, stuff will. Anyway, that's too much information. Anyway, it was sort of high. So and what I would do is I would do some practice runs. What's going on, Real King? I would do some practice runs I would go 1, 2. I would work on my timing, because you gotta jump from a certain place when you do long jump. And I work on my timing. So I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, So I would do a practice run before I do my real jump. So I would do that. I did it in my mind. Boom. 1, 2, 3, clap. And then what happened was, I said, I'm ready to go. So the judges would be there. And at the same time, there's other heats or meets going on, or other events going on. And since this was the runoff for who was going to be best in the district, I had to say, all right, calm down. People in the stand, go LDA, you can get it. And you gotta get this, man, you gotta do it for us. So I'm like, oh man, so the pressure is on me. I could have played the victim, or I can play the victor. So what I did was, I got back, and I had these cleats, and you can hear them click, 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 click. And I went burst. And I was in the air like this, moving. 18 feet. I said, oh, you can't. I was like, I was going for 19. Sir, you get another thing. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing like this. Jerry curl's moving in the wind, it's hot, getting a little puff. I need some snapback in my Jerry curl. It's like, oh man, I'm sweating a little bit. And everybody, go, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. And then 1, 2, 3, 3, boom. I hit 19, I think 19 and a half. And that's pretty good for your junior high school kid. I did 19 and a half. I placed. And then the other guy went. I said, oh, this guy's going to try to kill me. And, So I'm standing there, you know, Jerry Curl going in the wind, like, what I'm going to do? So he jumps 16. He jumps 17. I end up winning my district for long jumping in junior high school. And they took a picture of me in the air. I wish I still had the papers. Maybe my mother have it. I try to keep it, of me in the air, long jumping, winning the districts for long jumping in junior high school. It's amazing because I had to condition for that. I had to train. I couldn't play the victim. I had to be the victor. I had to see myself already winning. I had to see myself already winning in order for me to get to that next level. I was so happy to be, I'll just be honest with you. When I seen they say, hey, when I went to school, you know, I still had my little Jerry curl. I thought it was something. Hey, with my MC Hammer, I think MC Hammer was out. MC Hammer pants were just coming out. So I had my MC Hammer pants, you know, we had on, what we had on, can't think of the jeans. It was a certain shorts you wear. But we had them on. I had my shorts on, Hawaiian shorts on. You know, I thought I was, yeah. I'm in the paper. I'm in the Sun paper. You know, I thought it was something. But remember, I told you that prior that I flunked second grade, that I had reading comprehension problems, that I was second to the slow reading circle in high school and elementary school. What if I would have took that victimhood and applied it to all my life and in every area of my life? I would have never went out there and had a confidence to win the district in long jumping for my junior high school, Margaret Spellacy. I would have never did that. It is when you divorce yourself from being a victim and you decide that you're going to be a victor, that your life all around you will change. If I can do it, if I can get transformed from where I was to where I am now, having nothing, no car, living in my sister's basement, then in my mother's basement. That's a whole nother story even with that. Even the dog had it better than me. The dog would tap me on the head and say, she got to go out, Sasha. I said, I can't live like that when Sasha, the dog, is tapping me on the head and saying she got to go out. And I'm couch surfing on my mother's as a grown man. I couldn't play the victim anymore. Was it easy? It was not easy. But I had to take back control of my life. And how I took back the control of my life is when I said I was not going to play the victim anymore. There's nobody stopping me but me. There's no one holding me back. I don't got enough education. I didn't complete college. I messed up and I didn't do good in college, and my marriages went down the drain. I could have played it. Women didn't play me. They took my money. I could have played the victim. I could have played the simp. I could have played all that. But I said, I will not. I remember looking in my son's eyes. They were young too. I said, Dad would not be like this. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I hope you can feel what I'm saying to you about transformation. I looked my sons in the eye and said, Dad, you see Dad now in this basement, but he will not be like this. He will have a car. He will have his home place, and you guys will come over here. Yeah, Dad. They believed in me better than I believed in myself at the time. Let me say that again. My sons believed in me better than I believed in my own self. Because they say, hey, you are dad. You can do anything. I was their Superman. I was their Superman. They believed in me so much better than I believed in myself. And I said, I can't let my sons down. I can't let them see me go out like this. They got to see an example of what a man does in the face of adversity. They got to see a man stand up when he has no money. He has no way of taking, all he can take him to is McDonald's and give him a cheeseburger and a fry and an orange drink. That's all we had. I remember one of my cousins, I was down and out. Do you hear me? I was down and out. And my one cousin, Deborah, she seen me over to McDonald's on Lakeshore. And she said, what are you doing over here? I'm just chilling right now. She knew my situation. She said, come on, we're gonna get you a double cheeseburger, get you a fry. You're gonna eat that and we're gonna sit down and talk. You don't know how much that conversation meant to me, that my cousin Deborah, who's now moved on to the other side, is to sit down with me, who was broken down, couldn't afford a double cheeseburger and fries and a drink at McDonald's. She didn't give me money. She gave me something just to eat. And the conversation. And even to her last days, I made sure, because I had transitioned to working in a hospital, I made sure I went to go see her and talk to her until her last days. I made sure I gave back what she poured in me when I was down and out. I would go and have conversations with my cousin Deborah. We would talk about The Godfather. We would talk about why Vito did this. Why the father do this? Why to do this person? We would talk about it. We would break down The Godfather. She read the book and watched the movie. But my time with my cousin was to pour back what was poured in me when I was at my lowest. My opportunity, because I had the freedom to pour back into my cousin Deborah when she was at the place she was. And I made sure I went to go see her as much as I could. I refused to play the victim. I chose to be the victor and to see transformation, not only in my life, but those around me. I want to know, how can I serve you better? I want to serve you better because I'm going to have a campaign or a master class I'm going to do. And the master class is for those who are having challenges and who their challenges in 2025. But I need to know what your challenges are. And no need to have a master class if I don't know what your challenges are. I'm going to later on, I'm going to charge that master class. It's going to be $997 for that master class. $997. But I want to do this to give you some keys for your 2025. It's going to be coming up in February, where I will be doing this master class. It's not open to everyone. The seats are limited. So those who comment and tell me, what is your biggest challenges that you are facing in 2025? I want you to write them, not right now, write them in the comments after this video. Let me know what your biggest, I got some of them already, but what are your biggest challenges in 2025? I'm going to do a master class for a limited amount of people, not for everyone. And the seats will be limited where you can come in, and I'm going to teach for an hour a little bit more on on dealing with the challenges that you have in 2025. Salute, brother. Said needed this message. No, D Money, appreciate it. No problem. But I'm going to do a master class for those who want to take it up to another notch. In the future, I will be charging $997. Let me say it clearly: $997 for this master class. So this one's going to be free. The next one is going to be $97 for just general seating, and for VIP is going to be $297 for VIP. You get to ask VIP, get to ask questions. They get to have a special time with me. But those for general seating, it will be $97. VIP will be $297. You get a lot more asset. And those who want to do a little bit coaching beyond that, we'll talk about that at the master class. But I want to make sure I'm here to serve you. I'm here to get you to the next level. I share my story today from victim to victor of how I overcome and how I went from how I got transformation in my life. And I know it has helped you. If this has helped you, if you're resonating with what I said today, put a number 1 in the chat room. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. If this has helped you today, if this wow, LDA, you went heavy. If this really has helped you, let me know in the chat room today. Put a number 1, say, yo, LDA, you dropped some gems today. You gave, whoop, whoop, you gave it out. Imagine what's going to happen in the master class that's going to take place. I'm telling you, the master class in the future will be $997. It will be that. Yes, it will. So definitely, if this has helped you in any kind of way, let me know in the chat room. Put a number 1, put a number 1, put a number 1 in the chat room and let me know what you heard today. Me giving you some real life situations. Let me know in the chat room if this has helped you in any way. I want to make sure that I'm here to serve you. I'm not just here to entertain you. I'm here to get you to the next level, to be the best version of who you are. This is the thinking class. When spirituality and the game combines, you have the thinking class. But I'm also here to see you go from zero to hero and transform you into the best version of who you are. Now, you're going to have to do the work, but I'm going to give you the blueprint on how to get there. This is Lawrence D. Adams. What's going on, man? D Money, what's going on? What's going on, seller man? What's going on? I ain't seen you in a while. Stickum Cooker, what's going on, bro? I ain't seen you in a minute, bro. Good to see you. Good to see you. This has really helped you today. Let me know in the chat room. If you can see yo, LDA had that story, and look at him now. Look like they saw. Look at me now. Look at me now. I'm getting paid back. Look at me now. But I wanted to be completely transparent and honest. And like Wade said, I appreciate my integrity of sharing what I went through. Failed in who fails in elementary school? who fails to second grade? I failed the second grade. Who got to go to the slow class? Not even go to the slow class. I had to go to the special. I had to go to where they can help me reading comprehension. Now you can't stop me for reading. That was me. That was me. I still have some challenges now with grammar, and I still have some challenges now with grammar, and still have some challenges in spelling. But hey, look at me now. I wasn't going to let that stop me. I wrote a book. I wrote several books. So you think I was going to allow what took place in elementary school with me flunking one time to stop me from writing a book? Baby, you got the wrong one. You got the wrong Nikki B. I see you one. You got the wrong one. Yeah, I feel the third. Right. I feel the third veil. Right. Yeah, see? You think I was going to let that stop me from writing a book? The first book I wrote was at 37 years old. I wrote it for my father. I wrote a book in dedication to my father. After that, he said, son, He was in the hospital. He was recovering. He said, this book is pretty good. This is good, son. But there's so many more books inside of you. I'll never forget that because I went up there to cut his hair. I was, I used to cut hair on the side too. I had a little bit. I used to cut hair. I gave my dad a little bald fade, a little fade on the side, trim his mustache up, get him all right. And he said that to me. He said, son, proud. I was 37 years old. I never forgot that. He said, I'm proud of you. But there's so many more books inside of you. And I ended up saying, okay, Dad. All right. And I decided I'm gonna write some books. I have some more books going to come. I have a revision of the Secret Invisible Crown. I got The Power of Believing in Yourself. I got audio books. I got all of that. But I'm saying all of that. If you really want the juice that I'm cooking, you want to get part of that masterclass, and you want to get a part of the VIP day that I'm going to have for $97 for general admission and $297 for VIP. And I'm telling you now, I ain't trying to play nobody. I'm being upfront. It's going to be $997 in the future. So you want to be a part of that. With that being said, this is Lawrence D. Adams. Let me drop my, I ain't played this song in a while. And I'm out. See you next week, next Friday, 1 o'clock. I'm out. Peace.